Hello, this is Tim Shelbourne, and in this video tutorial we're going to take a quick look at how we can take a standard digital photograph in Photoshop Elements 5 and convert it to a nice effective monochrome image that verges on the side of fine art and has a little more interest and textural detail and tonal latitude than we'd normally find in the standard black and white photograph. So we're at a kind of crossover here. Although we want to maintain a lot of the tonal integrity of the original, we also want to make this a pleasing and attractive image which tends towards the fine art aspects of things. So I've got the start image open in Photoshop Elements 5, and you'll also find this start image available on this month's cover CD. Now, as ever, although this is not strictly necessary for the technique, I always like to start by duplicating the background layer. This is for the simple reason that if anything goes wrong during the process, or you change your mind as far as the effects you want to apply, you can always simply delete the duplicate layer and get back to the original image itself. So it's always a good idea to duplicate the background layer. Now we can do this in one of a couple of ways. You can either simply grab the background layer in the layers palette and drag it to the new layers icon, and you'll see that immediately produces a duplicate layer. Let's just undo that. And the other method you can do it by is simply by going to layer and duplicate layer, and we simply have to click that little dialog there. For my money, I would always rely on simply dragging the background layer to the new layer icon. However, we've already got the duplicate layer now, so we can begin doing the black and white conversion on that layer. Now, you'll often read that you can do a black and white conversion simply by desaturating the image itself, but 9 times out of 10 that will produce a very unpleasing, flat and rather lifeless black and white image. So in Photoshop Elements 5 we have a far better way of doing this, and that is derived by going to the Enhance layer and choosing Convert to Black and White from the menu. I'll just give that a few minutes to appear. This can be quite a computer intensive filter, so it's always worth giving it a little time to do its stuff, as it were. You'll see in the top here we've got the before image, and then we've got a preview of the after image itself. We're starting with the default values, which I would always recommend that you do, and in effect this is just a very simple way of mixing the 3 channels of the original image, so we end up with a rather pleasing monochrome image. Now we've got a number of presets down here, any of which you can choose. For instance, in this image we want to reflect a kind of pseudo infrared effect, so we can actually click on this directly on this preset button, but I think it's rather more use if we do this manually, because then far better grasp on understanding exactly what we're doing in the filter itself. Now within this filter, as I said, we're actually mixing the red, green and blue channels, and we want to begin on this by increasing the green channel. So we'll start by simply going to the more green icon and just adding a couple of clicks there. You'll see as I do this, the highlights and the mid-tones in the image get significantly brighter, and this will start to give us the kind of infrared effect that we want in this particular picture itself. Okay, so I want to reduce the proportion of the blue channel in the image, so conversely we'll go to less blue, and we'll have just 2 or 3 clicks on there. Do remember to keep your eye on this preview image so we can see exactly what we're doing, and that's looking quite good at this stage.